What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and Most of all Happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
And we got a really fun episode for you today. I started planning into my 2025. We're almost there. We're veering into December. It's an exciting time, and I like to start early and get ahead with my goal setting. And I like to set big goals and I like to achieve them. And because of that, people ask me in different facets of life, like, hey, how do you do that? What's the secret here? And I thought it'd be kind of fun breaking down the process I've used over just the past, I guess my entire life to try to achieve these goals and make things happen. So no matter what you're looking to be successful in, this is kind of my step-by-step guide of what I've used, what Kyle's used to make that happen. And I think the first thing too, and kind of the funny part of this question in general, is what is success to you? Like, success could mean a multitude of different things. And I think a really fun way of looking at it is from, I'm not sure if you've ever heard this, the story of the businessman and the fisherman. So a quick breakdown of this story effectively is there was a fisherman lying on the beach and a businessman was on vacation. He said to him, hey, why are you laying on the beach? And he said, well, I'm done my work for today. I just caught my fish and I'm enjoying laying on the beach. And he said, well, you should be working harder. If you work harder, you can buy more boats, you can hire workers, you can catch more fish, and you can catch more money. And the fisherman had said, well, okay, that's great, but what would that do for me? He said, after you do that and you work hard maybe for another 20 years, you'll be able to have even more staff and a big business, and you'll be able to relax and do whatever you want. And then the fisherman more or less said, well, that's exactly what I'm doing now. So you got to ask yourself effectively, what are you trying to work towards? What is success to you? And I think for everyone, that'll be entirely different. And I think where some people go wrong is they set goals and say, I want to have a six-pack, I want to be shredded, and that's not what you truly want. What you want is to have confidence in your body, to be at a basic level of health where you can maintain it and still have a social life. So unless your goals mean something to you, is what I'm getting at, you're not going to do them. You're not going to want it enough. There's something so different than someone who's in their 20s says, I should be more fit because I know later in life it'll hurt me, and someone who's 65 and not able to walk and diabetic and they're battling for every day of their health. These are two very different situations, but that's where you need to really inject what you truly want. And the best way to do this, as we know, is through goal setting. And that's why we're so big on goal setting and really defining what these things mean and really living out your dream and what you want to achieve, and understanding that these things can adjust. And even the example of living out someone else's dream. So even for Kyle, his mother clearly had a big dream of him to work for the city. I was very impressed by that, to get a job in the trades. And what would you say about that?
I just really stayed true to my guns. And honestly, when it comes to success, to me, being here right now, talking to all of you, having built what we've built, the biggest thing was I had a different vision, and I'm so grateful I took action on that. And I think it's so powerful, because you'll always get different people who really do care about you, right? It could be family members, it could be spouses, it could be friends, could be even random people as well who just think they're going to kind of interject some different thoughts and whatnot. And I want to encourage you, it's always great to be open-minded. If someone has a thought or a tip or whatever it is, I'm always open. But I think one of the greatest things is to even ask questions with that. So even bringing it back to my story, for me, success looked completely different. It looked, taking this opportunity that Josh gave me to join him on the YouTube channel, to build out this business, to have freedom, to help people, that was success for me. Other people wanted me to clock in at a specific job and, just not really do what I was passionate about. And that wasn't success. So for me to take that uncomfortable step was very rewarding. And I'm so happy to be here right now. And the thing I wanted to talk about on top of the quote of the businessman and the fisherman, I think it's so important to really take what people say and just be able to figure out what it is that you want. Because there's some people, even for us, they'll look at our business, they'll be like, man, everyone has different thoughts, oh, you should, be doing it all yourself, you can have all the profits. And then you talk to someone else who'd be like, you should have a whole team of 50 people and stuff like that. And it's we're doing what we want and the way that it should be done for us. And that's why we're going to be able to enjoy the process and still consistently succeed. And I think it's so easy for people who don't even like really understand, or for like, you go to a family gathering, it's funny because I'll always get different tips and tricks, or, you know, like, are you sure you should be lifting that much? And I just really, for success, it's just like being so clear on what you want. Because I heard from Dean Graziosi years ago, he said, most people, if you ask them what they don't want, they'll list out everything. They'll say, I don't want this, I don't want that. If you say say, hey, what do you want? They'll kind of just like sit there and be like, not really sure. So I think being ultra clear on that has helped me so much down the road. And yeah, that's what I have to say there.
Yeah, and this is the big thing. And I want to spend a lot of time on this because just goals you're not passionate about, just they won't happen. And that's what we've said before too. Like it's easy to set some crazy goal like I want 6-pack abs and not take it serious, not believe it, not see a path there. But when you have something that inspires you, and even if it's for a vanity reason, if you're like, I want to have a 6-pack to get back at my ex, like whatever motivates you, you need to lean into. Some people have more wholesome goals, but at the end of the day, no one's judging how wholesome your goals are. Like if one person's like, I want to walk my daughter down the aisle when I'm 40, that's also a great goal. But whatever really lights a fire for you and is important to you, like you can't just live someone else's dream because it's not going to inspire you the same. So I think like at a really basic level, understanding what success is for you is so important, spending some time on it. And then once you do that, once you know like the destination of where you want to be, we can backtrack and say, what are we going to do to get there? And to understand too, you're not going to get there overnight, but you can break this massive, massive goal down into little chunks and you can start to take little bites at how you're going to make it happen. And I love this quote from Colin Powell. It's that there are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. And that really is a big part of the journey, is like understanding you will fail, having some hard work, doing some preparation, and not expecting too much of yourself. Instead, work towards those goals, continue pushing in the right direction, and it makes it a lot easier. And you can't wish your way to success. And fitness is the best example of this, because even losing fat, if you're like, oh, I wish I could eat better, that is not a solution. If you start saying, oh, I'm going to get a coach, or I'm going to stop eating after this time, I'm going to start tracking my food, these are actionable solutions. So you can't just hope your way to whatever you're looking to achieve. You need to break it down and say, what efforts do I need to put on to make that happen? And that's why ultimately we're so big on discipline. When you can rely on discipline, it can make you get there. So let's use that example of losing fat. Perhaps you're someone that wasn't. And you start to say, okay, I have my goal. I know exactly what I want. I want to lose 20 pounds. That's what's going to feel amazing. My deeper why is because I want to be able to play with my kids when they're older. And I need to stay fit and be active for them. That's going to motivate you. And that 20 pounds, you can say, okay, I want to achieve this by year end. So I have 54 weeks to do this in the year to lose this amount of weight. And you can really start to break down the stats of where you need to be, see if you're ahead or see if you're behind, and build the habits to get there. You won't be perfect immediately. And if you just expect to snap your fingers and have it all fixed, it absolutely won't. But you can start to say, okay, I'm going to start lifting 5 days a week. I'm going to progressively get stronger. I'm going to challenge my routine. I'm going to start tracking my calories. I'm going to go on walks to make this happen. And you'd be amazed at how just doing these small things consistently, how much the sum can really result to amazing results. Anything to add on top of those?
No, that was very well said. Yeah. I did want to quickly just talk to me, the importance of success to me is like enjoying the process. And I like using different examples. So like there's two people, let's say they both lose 20 pounds. The one person is just miserable. He hates it. He just can't wait to get out of the diet. And it's just like, he's doing it to do it. He's not going to be as successful. There's one person who starts to go on walks with their family. They enjoy some different sporting events. They still go out to eat and they have a great time. And then afterwards, they're able to succeed down the road. Like to me, when I look at it, like you have to be able to celebrate those milestones along the way. Like when you lose those first 5 pounds, like celebrate it, enjoy it, do something fun. And I think when it comes to success, so many people are looking for that end destination, thinking that when they get there, they're going to be so happy. And I kind of wanted to use a business example as well, as like if Josh and I build this huge business and like on one end it's like I'm not sleeping, I don't feel like I'm having an impact, like I hate it, and it's like we get to that goal of like money, for example, like I'm not going to feel successful. Whereas here we've done it slowly, we've helped so many people, still getting great nights of sleep. Like it's just like we're helping other people now, as well as we have a team and we're supplying all that stuff. Like that's success to me. And I think like because we've really paid attention to each milestone, we've celebrated it, we've been so laser focused on that, like that success is enjoying that journey. And that's one of the most important things, at least to me personally speaking.
Yeah, and that's a perfect point, because even a note I had here is accept there will never be a place or time where you've made it. You're never going to just look around and go, I've done it. I've achieved everything. I'm successful. Like, I would say you're a successful person if you're working towards something that you'd like to achieve. And you can't expect to be perfect, like I said previously, but if you're actively working towards it, and the more you can learn to love the process of it, you'll have way more success to someone who's only destination oriented, because when you feel you can't get towards there, it's just going to make you quit. But like I said, when you break down those goals into small little examples and you start to say, okay, I'm moving forward to where I want to be, I'm getting closer to it, that ultimately is success. And to enjoy the process for what it is, and just understanding that goalposts will always move, because that 20-pound example I use will become 30 pounds. It'll become, okay, but my arms are small now because I lost all this weight. I don't look as good in this shirt, or this friend I know still looks better than me. So, and I think too, adding on top of that, like, comparison really is the thief of joy. So doing it for you, like I had said, and really just appreciating your journey and enjoying the ups and downs of it is so important. And it's hard to make a tangible episode and a step-by-step quote unquote guide to success. But once again, surmising the main points, I think, is having clarity as to what success is to you, understanding that will shift, being flexible with it, trying to break it down into smaller goals, and really understanding, like, what are my actions today? What are my action items to get me closer to what I want to achieve? And some examples of things I'll do is, like, do I have a form of accountability that I'm getting done the work I need to do? Who am I being held accountable to? Am I getting my workouts in? Am I spending time eating the best possible food for my body? And, like, breaking down to what success means to you in fitness and finance and health and just education. And, like, really, the more you can break down these subcategories, and I know it seems very open-ended, but with any goal, any thing you want to achieve, when you break it down this way, it goes such a long way. And one more note I wanted to make too is the quote, it hurts, but it works, which is such a good one. It's not always what you need to start doing, it's what you need to stop doing. So what are the things that are actively pulling away from your goals? Where are the things you've just been comfortable and you haven't challenged yourself? And how can you work to get rid of those vices? Is it late night snacking? Is it sleeping in? Is it skipping the gym? Is it excessive drinking? What is it? And identify those things. Say, what do you need to get rid of to make that happen? So between all of those, when you set clear goals, you identify what it means to you, you enjoy the process, you work to get closer and closer towards it, you accept goalposts will move, but you celebrate small wins, like Kyle said. To me, that is a surefire way to make anything happen. And then last but not least, to have belief in yourself and patience in yourself. If, like I said, it won't happen overnight, but if you believe you'll get there. And it's funny looking to where we are now to where we started. It's like, to me, I knew I'd get here because I knew I just keep inching along. I keep finding my way. And that really is the secret, is just having that belief, trusting the process, actively trying to get better. And that's all I have. Anything to add there?
I think the last thing I'll add is just try to be as well-rounded as you can in, like, every area. And it's not saying that you need to be a jack of all trades or a generalist or anything like that. But I think most people struggle with all this because there's so much to balance. And I remember years ago, I was listening to a book and he was saying to set goals in different categories. And I thought it was so powerful because I know, just using a business person as an example, like, they can be so laser focused on, like, business, like sales, marketing, money, and growth. Like, that's it. And then, like, relationships get pushed to the side, and then health gets pushed to the side, and then they're successful, right? You look at them, you're like, they've got a Lamborghini, but they're all, they're one-sided. And I think, like, for me personally, what success looks like is just being successful in all these areas. So I remember when we would set goals, it would be, once again, so health, so physical. One was career oriented. So for some people it'd be business, for some people it'd be their job. The other thing was socially, so relationships, family, anything like that. And then the last thing was something along the lines of, I don't remember the last one. Maybe it was like peace or something like that. Like, if you feel at peace, if you feel like very low stress, like, that would be successful. I'd have to figure out what that fourth one was. I forget. But I think, like, the last thing there is just, like, really doing the best you can with each category and making sure that every one of those is taken care of, because it's so easy to just, like, get success in some small areas, like even fitness. Like, some people will be like, just like shredded to the gills, like, they have some killer abs, but then it's like they haven't seen their friends in forever because they're dieting like crazy and because they don't have any calories left. So, like, that's where it's really important to prioritize, but also just to think of like what's important. And to me, those are the most important things. And that's the last thing I have to say for that, for this episode.
Yeah, I think that was a great add-on. And even the quote, we sacrifice our health in order to make wealth, then we sacrifice our wealth in order to buy back our health, and just how crazy of a system that is. And even the conception of time, like we'll spend a lot of our time trying to get money, and then we'll try to spend our money to regain time. And it's quite crazy. So like Kyle said, I think having that balance and trying to say, how can I be a balanced individual? And I think there's no such thing as perfect balance, but it's like try to win in as many areas as you can. And like we said, if there is no definitive goalposts that you need to achieve, if instead you can say, I'm making a conscious effort to improve in all these different areas of my life, and as long as you keep moving towards something, like you're going to get better and better and better, and that's what it's all about. So definitely a very open-ended episode there, but this is something that's actively on our mind and something we get asked quite often. And the truth is there's no shortcuts. It's just consistent amazing action and just consistently executing on that action, thinking big, dreaming big, believing the process. So I really do hope that helped. If you enjoyed it, let us know, because it was a little bit different, a little less rigid, but I think it was really fun talking through this, sharing everything. We do have our Black Friday sale on right now for our coaching. This is literally the best time to get started. So if you want to take advantage of that, message us on Instagram and we will do all the hard work for your health and help you invest in yourself to see that change. So DM us on Instagram with the keyword Black Friday to @Colossusfit, COLOSSUSFIT, to make that happen. Thanks for tuning in today. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.